Man, listen, Biggie was a big teddy bear, man. He was so sweet. Now, he intimidating because he a big dude. But when you get to loving on him and squeezing on him, he is just a big teddy bear. He tried to work out every situation. He tried to make peace with everybody. That's why the world was so crushed when his life was, taken away so viciously. Like, everybody that knew him was like, man, no, not Big. Big tried to fix everything and love on everybody. He even made all his women try to be friends. Like, Biggie was like the teddy bear of our century, for real. I miss him and love him so much. He would have made such a difference in the rap game today, yo.
The streets are buzzing again about Biggie's death, and this time, all eyes are on Brat. Word is, she may have witnessed a lot more than she's ever shared publicly, and people are starting to ask serious questions.
Once again, landing, getting my page. I go to I'm looking at the news in the airport, and the Brat is sitting on the ground crying. I never forget that. Brat is sitting on the curb crying. And I'm like, what happened? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right on the corner of Fairfax and Wilshire, right there. So I'm like, yo, because everybody was outside. Like, how could that happen? Because people couldn't get in the party too. It wasn't like everybody's in the party and nobody was outside. It was a lot of people outside, bro. So people saw it.
The streets are whispering again about the tragic death of the Notorious B.I.G, and this time, the name being pulled into the conversation is Brat. People are beginning to wonder if she saw more than she ever revealed, and if what she witnessed played a role in her decision to step away from certain circles. Let's rewind. In the mid-90s, Brat was deep in the mix, not just as a rising female rapper, but as a respected artist in a male-dominated industry. She was close with Jermaine Dupri and surrounded by some of the biggest names in hip-hop, including Biggie himself and the larger Bad Boy family. Her connections weren't just casual, they were professional, personal, and musical. One of her most notable collaborations with Biggie was on the track "To Be Side," which appeared on the Bad Boys movie soundtrack in 1995. The song was produced by Jermaine Dupri, who had close relationships with both artists. Jermaine has even publicly spoken about the mutual respect Biggie and Brat shared, emphasizing how much Big admired her lyrical skill and artistry. Beyond music, Brat and Biggie also appeared in each other's videos. Biggie made a cameo in the remix video for Brat's song, "Give It To You," further highlighting how often their paths crossed. And with Brat often in the same rooms as Diddy, Jermaine, and the rest of the Bad Boy team, many believe she had a front row seat to some of the industry's most intense behind-the-scenes moments, both the glamour and the chaos. This has led to speculation. Did Brat witness something that made her pull back? And more specifically, did she know anything about what really happened to Biggie? Some are wondering if she made a conscious decision to step away before getting caught in the same storm that swallowed others in the industry. There have long been rumors that Biggie was preparing to leave Bad Boy Records before his untimely death, and many have speculated that this tension may have contributed to what happened next. Over the years, several sources have claimed that Biggie and Diddy were not as close as they seemed. In fact, reports say Diddy was more focused on marketing and sales following Biggie's death than on mourning the loss of his artist and friend. A Rolling Stone expose touched on this, claiming that after Biggie's passing, Diddy allegedly shifted focus to ensuring the commercial success of Biggie's final album, Life After Death. According to former Bad Boy executive Kirk Burroughs, Diddy still tried to center himself in the spotlight even after Biggie's death. Kirk recounted an incident in which Rolling Stone approached Bad Boy with a potential Biggie tribute cover. Kirk says he encouraged Diddy to let the cover honor Biggie, reminding him that he could have his own moment later. Allegedly, Diddy declined and pushed to be on the cover himself to promote his upcoming debut album, No Way Out. As a result, the 1997 issue of Rolling Stone hit stands with the headline, "Puff Daddy, the New King of Hip Hop." 2 years later, in another Rolling Stone interview, Diddy himself allegedly admitted that Biggie's death contributed significantly to the success of No Way Out, saying that millions of copies were sold largely due to the tragic circumstances surrounding Biggie's passing. According to Kirk Burroughs, there was even tension regarding Biggie's past friendship with Tupac. Kirk claimed that Diddy was envious of their bond before the East Coast-West Coast rivalry exploded. Some believe that Diddy encouraged Biggie to respond to Tupac musically, perhaps even pushing the release of Who Shot Ya in 1995, which Tupac perceived as a provocation following his shooting. Adding another layer to this complex story is Biggie's mother, Voletta Wallace. She has been vocal for years about her belief that there was a cover-up in her son's murder investigation. In multiple interviews, she has stated that she's convinced the LAPD knows who was responsible but has chosen not to act. She's expressed frustration that no arrests have been made despite extensive investigations, suggesting a possible conspiracy to protect certain individuals. Voletta Wallace also participated in the film City of Lies, which focuses on the alleged corruption tied to Biggie's murder investigation. In the film and in interviews, she emphasized her desire for accountability, stating, "I have strong hope. I don't care if it takes 40 years, just for somebody to be accountable for what they did." She believed some officials were more concerned with preserving reputations and pensions than finding justice. She also spoke about LAPD Detective Russell Poole, who spent years investigating the case. Poole passed away during his work on the case, and Voletta believes his death was the result of heartbreak and frustration from never seeing justice served. She called him a man of his word and said, "Russell died exposing them, all he saw was corruption and pure lies." And then there's former Bad Boy security member Gene Deal, who has also gone on record with troubling claims. Gene has said that the night Biggie was killed, his car appeared to have been marked, suggesting there may have been prior knowledge or coordination surrounding the shooting. With all of these pieces, the strained relationships, the jealousy, the speculation, and the unanswered questions, it's no surprise that people are looking back at those who were close to the situation and wondering what they might know. Brat, who was in the mix but never caught up in the legal troubles or violent rivalries, stands out. Some believe she saw the signs and stepped away at just the right time. Others think she might have witnessed things she chose never to speak on publicly, out of loyalty, self-preservation, or fear. Whether or not Brat will ever speak out about what she saw or heard in those chaotic years remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the questions around Biggie's death are far from settled, and the conversation is still very much alive.
My whole thing about it is that it was somebody in our crew that wanted them to know that Big was in that vehicle. And to separate it, that's where you get there was more than one people trying to kill us. You understand?
You're right.
That's where you get that at, brother. That there was more than one, different people was trying to kill us. Because somebody wanted to know, yo, if y'all gonna get big, here go the car with the stickers on it.
Now, people are starting to say that Brat may have known exactly who was beefing with who, what calls were being made behind the scenes, and how the energy shifted once Biggie's fame skyrocketed. While she's always kept things cool in public, there are clips and subtle comments that suggest she's holding back, like she knows way more than she's ever let on.
Was a personal friend of mine, was an amazing person. He was like a big teddy bear, one of the sweetest people that I knew. And what was amazing about him to me was when we would go in the studio together, because we have a song together called a B-side, and I'm on a couple of those remixes that he did. It's my voice in the background that Jermaine Dupri did. But he would go in the studio and he wouldn't write anything down. So when I was writing with him, I would have my pen and paper and I would just be writing, and I'd be ready with my verse thinking that he ain't working. I got him beat. I'm finna beat him and go in the studio and record before him. Little did I know he had already wrote it in his head. He was the first person that I saw that never wrote anything down. And I don't know how he did that, because he could smoke you under the table. So I'm like, how you smoke so much weed and can remember that and not use a pen and paper to write it down? So Biggie was an amazing person, very talented, and I'm happy to have known.
There's a lot of talk going around that Brat knows some deep, behind-the-scenes details about what Diddy did to people in his circle. However, she's reportedly been too afraid to reveal what she saw, which might explain why she pulled back from the spotlight for a while. But now, if the word on the street is to be believed, Brat could be getting ready to share some serious information, and fans are definitely here for it. On the flip side, though, some people feel Brat should be one of the last people to expose Diddy because of her own controversial past. You've probably heard about the incident involving an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader, Shayla, who was working part-time as a waitress and hostess at Studio 72, a nightclub in Tucker, Georgia, owned by Jermaine Dupri. During a private Halloween party at the club, Brat reportedly attacked Shayla. This incident led to Brat receiving a 3-year prison sentence, followed by 7 years of probation, 200 hours of community service, and mandatory substance treatment, mental health evaluation, and anger management classes, according to Shayla. She was trying to walk away when Brat smashed a nearly full bottle of rum over her head. She also claimed that Jermaine Dupri and his security staff failed to remove Brat from the club or protect her during the attack. More troublingly, Dupri allegedly did not seek timely medical attention for Shayla or report the incident to authorities, fearing bad publicity for Studio 72.ina lawsuit, Shayla claimed she suffered blunt force trauma to the head, resulting in brain damage, severe lacerations, permanent scarring, and nerve damage. She said her career as a professional cheerleader and actress was cut short due to facial disfigurement, which led to a loss of income. The court ordered Brat to pay approximately $8 million in damages, an increase from the original $6.4 million. But it appears the payment has yet to be made. This wasn't Brat's only legal issue. Before that, she was arrested after reportedly getting into a fight with a woman over VIP seats at a Georgia nightclub. During the altercation, Brat allegedly hit the woman over the head with a gun. The victim was hospitalized and required 6 stitches. The following year, Brat pleaded guilty to reckless conduct, a misdemeanor. She was sentenced to 80 hours of community service, fined $1,000, and placed on probation for a year. Given this history, many people say that perhaps Brat should keep a lower profile when it comes to exposing others, but regardless of her past, it's hard to ignore the fact that Brat walked away from those intense circles and refocused on her music, personal brand, and media career. Some believe that wasn't just personal growth, it was strategic. It was survival, apparently. She saw the dark side of things happening inside Diddy's camp, recognized the danger, and chose her own exit route. And for those who stayed too close to that fire? Well, we all know how some of their stories ended. So, the real question is, was Brat one of the lucky ones, or one of the smartest? And if she ever decided to tell her side of the story, what would she reveal? Would she confirm the rumors about Biggie's death? Would she expose what really happened behind the scenes at Bad Boy Records? Or is she keeping quiet for a reason? Like I said, the word on the street is that Brat may soon open up and share what she knows. Until then, let me know what you think. She might reveal in the comments below. What secrets do you think she holds? Are you ready for the truth to come out?